What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Tee It Up. This is a very, very exclusive episode. We got a guest with us, the man, the myth, the legend, my Pops. Introduce yourself, Pops.
Well,
Let me see how you do this.
Derrick Tyshon Breeland, a.k.a. God Killer. You dig? That's me.
The,
Glad to be here, baby.
The LeVar Ball before LeVar Ball. That's what people don't know. I'll be calling you that, the LeVar before LeVar.
Yeah, you did.
The difference is LeVar, he used to do his shit talking on ESPN and whatnot, but Pops used to do it in the neighborhood. We used to go to Longfellow. It'll be KB sometimes, depending on how he was feeling. Me, my older brothers, LaShawn, Bub, and Pops would be there like, man, my sons will bust y'all ass. My sons will do this, my sons will do that. Then we have to go out there and play, and we'll have a little target on our back because they like, man, these Pops think they better than what they is. I'm glad to have you on the show, though. A long time coming. My boy Christian, the team, are asking to get you on here. We finally got it popping. How you feeling?
Feel great, man.
You nervous?
Nah, not at all, man. You know how we do, man. Like you said, I'm LeVar Ball.
This your debut, right? Your on-camera debut, besides the Instagram Lives?
No, with you, yeah. But, I've been on the camera my whole life, man. My whole life.
Tell the people who you are as a basketball fan. Who your favorite players? What's your favorite brand of basketball? Your favorite team? What's your era? I want them to have a little bit of background before we dive into some of the topics, because you know how you are.
Oh, most definitely. Well, my favorite players were obviously the GOAT, Michael Jordan himself, 23. Then the second player.
So that's your GOAT.
That is definitely my GOAT.
No argument.
No argument.
When you hear other people, young, older, media fans, when they say LeBron is the GOAT, what is your reaction?
Everybody has an opinion.
No, absolutely.
Yes.
But if somebody was to debate you,
right,
is there a debate to you?
Not at all, because where they bring up numbers, right? I use the eye test. Michael Jordan had changed the game. He done stuff that I haven't seen no one else do. Now, obviously, LeBron has bigger numbers because he played longer.
Absolutely.
Right? But to use the eye test and see how people feared Michael Jordan when I was watching him play, hey, he's the GOAT, man. He changed the game. He made the ball head famous, the long short famous, the knee brace. But yeah, Michael Jordan is definitely my GOAT, and my second best player, favorite player, I should say, is Allen Iverson. Pound for pound, probably the best player that ever played.
When you hear a kid say, like Melo's son said his GOAT was Paul George, is that the right terminology, or is the GOAT and you have a favorite player?
Absolutely, I agree with that. Your favorite player is your favorite player, but the GOAT is what it is.
The greatest of all time.
Right? And like I said, young people have their opinion, and if they watch the game from back then on video, you will be able to see Jordan has do things now that make the game evolve to what it is today.
What you think Jordan would be doing in today's game with the 3-point evolution, pace and space, lack of physicality, no hand checking?
Jordan averaged 50.
You really believe it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would believe without the hand check, he averaged 37 with the hand check.
No 3-point shots.
No 3-point shot. And Jordan is the type of guy that whatever the game wanted, he will go work on it that offseason. So because people say he wasn't a good 3-point shooter, because he didn't have to. Now, if he played in today's game and he did all the personal training and stuff that they're doing today, Jordan would probably shoot the 3 at the 35% or above clip.
If Jordan is your GOAT, where do you place LeBron in everything? Not that you got to have a ranking in the back of your pocket every day, but where is he at for you? Because I know you off camera, obviously. Mm-hmm. The last few years, I feel like you still ain't necessarily a LeBron guy, but you starting to come around to some of the greatness. You just don't put him above Jordan.
Absolutely.
Because you got some people who either for or against.
Right.
They so Jordan that they don't want nothing to do with LeBron, or they so LeBron that they disrespect Jordan. But you just more so, he just not number one of all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I appreciate LeBron's game. From a fan aspect, I think to me he's probably he is the best small forward that I've watched play. And what he brings to the game, the IQ, the passing ability. He does a lot of good things to the game. He's just not my GOAT.
For
If
sure.
I had to label him, which I hate doing it because when you talk about Jordan, that means if Jordan is your GOAT, we got to diminish the other players that's not in the GOAT conversation or not the. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I do appreciate LeBron's game. I'm a big fan of his more now than I ever was before.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I didn't appreciate his game before was because he supposedly came to Chicago. But when he didn't come to Chicago and he knew he was going to Miami, it was like, man, I can't do LeBron. And so, yes, I'm a LeBron's fan. I like to watch him play.
You just talked about having to diminish other players when you big up Michael, you comparing these guys for rankings and whatnot. That's been a topic of conversation the last few days. LeBron came out and he spoke on the face of the NBA because Anthony Edwards was like, nah, I'm good. That's what y'all got win before. And then they asked LeBron, and LeBron said, well, why would anybody want to be the face of the NBA where all y'all do is basically shit on us?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people in the media reacted. They talked about it a lot on First Take, and Stephen A. Smith had some issues with what LeBron was saying and whatnot. Do you agree with the players? Do you feel like this day and age right now with social media, we see more players getting critiqued versus being appreciated? Not to say that you can't critique the player at all, because that's what the game is for, but a lot of people, including myself, I feel like every day when I'm getting online or I'm watching somebody's content about the game, it's more so coming from a negative aspect versus appreciation, which I don't think a lot of people realize now, especially like EJ era. What you end up doing, because I did this with LeBron when he was with the Heat, you have such a negative feeling towards people that it leave, and then you're like, damn, I didn't appreciate it while it was there. So now you just got YouTube to look back on. But yeah, is that what you see? Or when you in a barbershop or talking to your colleagues or your peers about the game, is it from more so negative versus appreciation?
Yes. Now it is, and with this era, it is, and I don't like that. That's why when people say the next Michael Jordan, those guys' career goes down, right? Because Jordan set a standard that guys like who really saw him play, that no matter what they did, they can't reach what Jordan has reached. So when you get to that platform that Jordan has gotten to where he has gotten to, anybody come behind him, they'll be critiqued so bad because they can't see that him reaching that plateau that he's reached. So to diminish a player to keep Jordan's name as the GOAT, I think that's unfair, right? But because we live in this era and the game does have us critique every player, every possession damn near, I think it's unfair for anybody that try to be the face of the NBA because Jordan set the standard so high that I don't think other players can reach. And it's just not basketball. The culture that he brought, the clothing, the style.
Yeah, I'm still wearing the shoes.
Wearing the shoes. So for him to turn the game and even global, right? The NBA wasn't as big globally before the 1992 Olympic team. So Jordan changed the game to make it what it is today, media-wise.
So the faces of the NBA, because you've obviously watched the NBA longer than I have, who have the faces been since you began watching? Even before Jordan, was there a face of the NBA before Jordan?
Yes.
And that was Dr. J?
No.
Who was that?
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
And then what about before them? Or is that before your time?
That's before my time. Because you look at it back then, they wasn't on. When I started watching the NBA, it was on tape delayed. I watched more DePaul games on TV than the Bulls.
So when you watched the Bulls, you already knew what happened? You said tape delay.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know.
But it wasn't live?
No, it wasn't live.
But you didn't know. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, they didn't. The face of the NBA conversation ain't like what it is today. Then
absolutely not.
Okay, so
no, because back then it was more a team. We wasn't like I was telling EJ earlier in the week, and I'm flipping off this topic a little bit. But back then, players played for the name that was in front of the jersey. Right now, we got guys because of endorsement, shoe deals, and all that type of stuff. They play for the name on the back. Which the product goes bad because it's not tennis and golf. You need the other four guys on the team to make you bad. So back then, it was more of a team thing. So the NBA was looking for something or somebody to boost the audience, right? The views to get. So when Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came, they had the Converse commercial. Then they started buying in, and that's when you see basketball players, professional basketball players, getting commercials. Then when Jordan came, he just took it to another level.
And then would you say after Jordan left, it was a collection of people, right? Because Kobe, that's my guy, but Kobe wasn't the face of the NBA.
No, and again, like we talked about earlier, the NBA wants the face of the NBA, to hire people, but to be the face of the NBA, what Jordan had already set the standard, it's so hard for another player because he'll be critiqued for everything he did. And mind you, when Jordan and Magic and Bird and the days that I played or watched, we didn't have all these cameras, social media and all that type of stuff. And everywhere you go now, you have a camera in your face. So a lot of stuff that Jordan probably did
right.
wasn't caught by the eye,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So these guys, every move that they make now is on tape. So every little mistake they do, they strip them down a little bit more.
I think we dealing with the same thing and with LeBron, because LeBron eventually became the quote-unquote face way down. And now you got guys like we talked about earlier in the week about Jayson Tatum, because he was saying he felt underappreciated. And so now it go from Jordan being the bar, which I agree, Jordan's the bar, but I think people have come to realize that even if LeBron can't touch Jordan, then everybody else should probably just taper it down. So Jordan no more is the bar or the expectation. That's just a pipe dream, and that's just something to keep you pushing. So then it goes down and trying to be the face like how LeBron was. Who LeBron, he don't have the accolades of being 6-6 in the finals or 6-0 with the Finals MVPs and doing it with one team. But what LeBron got is the accolades. He did win. He's a billionaire with Nike. And LeBron is one of the guys who's never gotten in trouble. I don't know what he do in his own personal life, but LeBron ain't got no speeding ticket, no cases. He ain't had no allegations that's been real.
Yeah.
So now you got this bar of this picture-perfect example, and the comparison, again, is for all of these young dudes to be like Bron as a quote-unquote face. And it's just like, now you got a guy like Jayson Tatum who feel like he ain't appreciated, or Anthony Edwards, or...
And they're not. At least Jayson Tatum. I think he's the superstar that no one really appreciate because he don't bring the swag that the other guys did. And going back to what you said about LeBron, we wouldn't know if LeBron did anything bad until after he got done playing.
You think so?
Because the NBA gonna cover that up so bad. But no, I think LeBron is okay. But yeah, Jayson Tatum, like you and I talked about earlier in the week over our phone conversation, that I think Jayson Tatum is probably the most unappreciated star in the game.
Because at 26, to have, 2 finals appearances, 1 finals, I think he's been in the conference finals 5 times, been an all-star 5 or 6 times, average 30, consistently is around 28, 29 points per game, 8 rebounds, 6 or 7 assists. He's small 40, shoot 10 threes a game at a decent clip. Check every box.
Yeah, well, except the showmanship. Like, there's still entertainment, right? So, and again, I hate bringing up your little brother EJ, but he's the one at house still. If you watch him play, he hit a 3, and he plays with so much emotion. Yeah, the crowd get going, right? To the point that they call him Rambo now.
You Rambo.
See, Jayson Tatum doesn't bring any of those things. You have to have some type of showmanship, some swag, to become all of that, right? Like your character, the swag, the style of play. And I'm not saying you're supposed to get like you never did it before, right? But the more you get the fan involved, the more you feel like the passion of the game. You love what you're doing, and it just comes out, pours out of you. I believe he'll be, like for Jordan. Jordan didn't do all that, but what Jordan did that attract people, he had a signature. He licked his tongue out.
Yep.
Right? LeBron, he does the, you know what I'm saying?
And so now he do the crown.
They put the crown in his head. Like, all of that stuff, at some point, you have to be a little selfish in this game. Even though it's a team game, you have to have a little selfishness.
It could come for Tatum then, because
can.
Bron ain't always do the.
No, he didn't.
I think Bron did that after he got a championship. The crown came later.
And maybe Jayson Tatum, maybe he don't. He never evolved to that type of game.
Yeah.
He will still go down as one of the best players that ever played the game, not just in Boston history, but throughout the NBA history.
Yeah, that's the conflicting part with the face of the NBA, because you got guys that can entertain and got the swag, but they don't have
the game.
Yes, and then you got guys who got the game, the swag, but they don't like your guy AI.
He's an icon.
An icon, but the NBA won't put him as an all-time great because he didn't check some of the boxes that they have as a requirement. We will, as the culture of the game, and every time I see him, it's almost like a pop singer is in the building. The way people rush and want a picture and autograph, and AI is AI. I remember meeting AI, got him to sign that shirt that I gave you.
Absolutely.
He was so cool, like, just because I'll be seeing players all the time where somebody wants something signed, they be like, man, not right now, whatever. AI was like, man, come on, I got you, whatever.
And just not to cut you off, right? But the NBA doesn't have to stamp, because he already been stamped. He's in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
So you can't go, and everywhere he goes, I was watching the game last night. He was at
he was. Yes.
And you saw the standing ovation. Yeah, I mean, he can go anywhere.
Yeah, he can.
And have to sign, right? So sign, autograph, and people will know who he is. So, I think he's already stamped. The NBA don't have to call him one of the greatest.
When you speaking of Philadelphia, when you see everything that they got going on, they recently just shut down Joel Embiid for the rest of the year. I don't know what they're gonna do with Paul George. He played last night, didn't have the best game, and obviously being bothered with his finger. Apparently, he getting injections to play through the pain. Do you feel like Joel Embiid can get back to the level now? I don't even know. I've lost count on how many surgeries it's been. But when you're somebody that's 7'1", 250 plus, 60 plus pounds, with so much pressure on the knees, do you think he can get back to that level? Do you think he even needs to for this team to succeed? Or what would you do as a GM for the Philadelphia 76ers?
Wow. To go back, though, I think Joel Embiid, because of his physical thing that he's going through with the knees, and throughout my years of watching basketball, I've seen a lot of tall guys go through knee injuries, foot injuries. You know what I'm saying? So for Philadelphia to reach to where they want to be, Joel Embiid is going to be a big factor, because to me, he's still one of the most dominant big men in the game today. He may just have to change his game a little bit.
Okay.
Right? He won't have to be on the perimeter as much, go down low, play with his back to the basket a little bit more, or face up a little bit. But if I was the GM of the 76ers right now, the process is no longer. I'm blowing it up. I'm blowing it up. I will get rid of, because time after time, before he even got to Philadelphia, I was a Paul George fan because you was a Paul George fan.
Yep.
And I thought, watching him in Indiana, he was on his way. I don't know if it from the injury that he had suffered that turned him down a little bit, but Paul George to me is not a number one or a number two guy that you can build your franchise around. So he need to go somewhere if he's going to continue to play somewhere that I think that already has two face of the franchise, which like a Golden State Warrior.
Yep.
He'll fit in right in, and he don't have to have the pressure. But for ours, Philadelphia, they have Tyrese Maxey. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm here for. You good.
Yeah, my man. And the guy who just scored.
Quentin Grimes.
Right there. They're young enough.
Mm-hmm.
And also the guy who's hurt that came.
Jared
McCain. I will go from there and build around those guys.
Okay. Yeah.
But
you like
Joel
Maxey?
Embiid, I didn't at first. His style of play as a point guard is kind of erratic.
Yeah.
But he's starting to put more skill in his game. He's not just using his speed all the time. But yeah, I like point guards that can control their speed, control the game.
Yeah.
Guys that can shoot a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I am a fan of him now because he's starting to go into the skill aspect of his game.
What's been your favorite thing? Because we ain't discussed this. We stopped at Michael Jordan, Iverson, but you're a big Warrior fan. You love the way that they play. You like Steph Curry. How you feel about the new look Warriors? They on fire right now. Last night was a horrible loss, obviously, losing to Quentin Grimes. What Quentin Grimes end with 50? Did he end with 50?
40, 44.
44? Okay. Oh, no, he could have had 50 if he made his free throws.
Absolutely.
Right.
Joel Embiid mentioned that on the post game.
But yeah, how you feeling? How you rocking with the new Warriors? What's your take on them? Because at first we was shaky. Came into the year, I was a big believer in the Warriors, but then they started to play a 12-man rotation.
Watch, I didn't agree.
That didn't last long. Then me and you was frustrated because they were saying they wasn't gonna make a move, but you don't want to have Steph Curry playing on a team that can't compete at this level. Dude dropping 50 and having all these performances. Then they go get Jimmy.
Right.
I was hesitant when I heard that was the rumor. But then it got to such a bad spot. I was like, man, you just got to go do something. And Jimmy ended up being the perfect piece that it seemed like they needed. So how you feeling about them, and how far do you think this version of this team this season can go?
Wow. Well, I definitely embrace the Jimmy Butler trade, right? Because he brings a different dynamic.
Yeah.
He brings a toughness. He's one of those guys, and I hope we never have to see it on camera.
Yeah.
But he can tell Draymond Green to slow down.
Right.
Because they both what we call I don't like this term, but we use it in basketball. They're both dogs.
Yes.
So
why you don't like that term?
I don't know, man. It's just that when I grew up, we just use like killer or beast, but dog, man, is I guess it grew on me a little bit, right? But he just changed the dynamics from the defensive aspect. Now, he doesn't fit in with them offensively the way Klay Thompson did.
Right.
But now he brings a different dimension because Jimmy can get it on the post. See, the Golden State Warriors didn't have a guy with this new regime. This regime that they've been winning, they used a guy with the back to the basket. They was all perimeter oriented, right?
Yeah.
Now they bring a guy that you could put on the block, the mid post, the low post, even at the elbows, right? After they do the run around, get it to him. It slows the game down, which is good for the playoffs.
Half-court offense,
Half-court offense. So he brings that. Because now you look at he goes to the line with 9 or 10 times a game.
Yeah.
No one in Golden State was going there because they stayed on the perimeter.
Right.
So with that being said, it slows the game up. Now Steph Curry can rest, right? And now when he goes to the bench where Golden State Warriors struggled, they have somebody they can go to for a basket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if it was me, I would love to them to get a big. I know
some sort of big.
Yes. I know the game is, they call it positionless.
Yeah.
There's certain things you're going to need going into the playoffs. So I do think they're going to make the playoffs.
We ain't seen Kuminga back with the. Let me see when Kuminga coming back because we ain't seen him yet. You like Kuminga?
I do. Not as much as Golden State does, right? I think he's a good piece. Now, the thing that I'm concerned about, will Kuminga buy into the new Jimmy Butler era?
Right.
Right? Because Kuminga wants to be one of those guys. He wants to be a star. The ball in his hand type stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
He's day-to-day.
But he's not what Jimmy brings.
No,
so is he going to be able to take that seat back again? And if I'm him, I'm learning from Jimmy, right?
Absolutely.
To get those things. But
two great people to learn from because he could be a morph of Jimmy and Draymond.
Well, you remember you and I talked. I thought they was going to trade Draymond because I always thought that Kuminga can be that guy, right? Yeah. But he doesn't bring it defensively like that. But it's interesting, man. I'm definitely a Warrior fan. I'm intrigued about this upcoming playoff run. I think if they get into the 6th seed, and they'll shock somebody. I don't think they're championship contender, but I do think they're a playoff. And if they get in, like we always said, anything can happen.
Do you think the Lakers are a contender?
Absolutely no.
You don't?
No, I do not.
I didn't think so for a while either, but what they doing defensively, I kind of like now. The offense ain't caught up, but I'm good on the offense because you got LeBron and Luka, and they can carry games and they can dissect the series. But I didn't know they was going to defend like this. I was like, man, I don't know how you're going to do anything when you got like Jackson Hayes as a center and whatnot. You don't have a true traditional backline defender. But they kind of like the Warriors in a sense where they don't have a true slow-footed 5, so they just run around and they gap up, they run around. LeBron quarterback in. They got the Dorian Finney-Smiths of the world, the Rui Hachimuras. So from that aspect, I'm a lot higher on the Lakers than I was when this trade first happened.
Okay.
But if you don't have the Lakers as a contender, you don't have the Warriors as a contender yet, because I'm imagining you think in the offseason they can get the rest of what they need to then do that. I've heard you speak off this show on the Thunder. You're not all the way bought in like others are on the Thunder.
Too young.
So who are your Western Conference contenders that could come out?
I'm going to go with Denver. Denver still has everything that a team needs, has a traditional big that plays in this type of game, the modern game today.
And take advantage of all of it.
All of it.
Y'all going to put Jackson Hayes on me? Man, say less.
I'm going to take him to the block.
Yeah.
If you put a big slow guy, I'm going to take him on the perimeter and
my
kill,
man
kill
Jokic.
him from there. Yeah, right. So, and I'm not even a Denver fan, right? I'm a Golden State Warrior fan. The pace and spacing that they play in. But as far as with the Lakers, I think Luka, they had to make that trade because LeBron is on his way out. That's more of a financial trade than to move up as far as being a contender.
Right. It set them up for the next
long term.
year.
Absolutely, because LeBron is on his last couple years and he's going to go, and then they need that star to keep it going, right? I'm not a contender. I don't think they're a contender, even though they're playing good defense. They got LeBron and Luka and the numbers of the board on the team with it, right? Like those guys, you and Derrick and Mike could do what those guys are doing, just run around being wild. But that team is really built like, if you look at it, the way Luka teams like to be built.
Yeah,
the guy to hold the ball, all you guys do is just play defense, cover my back. If I pass it to you, or when I pass it to you, you gotta make it. So I don't think that's gonna translate because it's so short in the season for them to make those adjustments. As good as Luka is, personally, I don't think he's happy there. You don't see the same Luka, right? Like he's still in that shock. Like, man, I can't believe you guys took me away from my home. Right?
Yeah.
So on that note, I just don't think they have enough.
Have you been impressed with JJ Redick?
I have. I was more impressed with JJ Redick when he was on the podcast.
Why you say that?
Because it's not hard to coach a LeBron James who's going to tell you what he wants to be done.
Hey, Darvin Ham say different, man.
Man, because Darvin Ham was old school guy. He gonna stand on. JJ Redick is the Lakers coach because of LeBron James. They was on the podcast talking about X and O's and bring them in type stuff. So no, I'm not impressed with JJ coaching.
How did you feel about the Luka trade when it happened?
I was stunned.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And then when I unpeeled all the situations of why this was made, and then obviously I talked to you, I could see why they made the trade. Like the Lakers had to do something going forward, and I think the Dallas Mavericks is more ready to contend now, if healthy.
If healthy, yeah.
More than the Lakers are because of what they bring.
Yeah, I think the Lakers, obviously, they win the trade for me because that was the most pivotal thing. I looked at the Lakers. They used all the assets to build around LeBron. It didn't materialize. And then now you was facing this little period where LeBron could be on the outs and you wouldn't have the star and you would have had to search and search.
Yes.
And nobody know how long that would take. That could take 2 years, 3 years.
No, it wouldn't have took long. You just wouldn't have gotten Luka. No, because everybody wants to play in the Lakers. Play in the LA.
The only reason I said it took long is because in today's game, free agency ain't the same.
Yes.
Because everybody extend to get the big bag. So even if they don't want to stay there, they're going to extend to get.
I get you.
So then you have to trade, and the Lakers don't have nothing to use because they use it all. So to be able to get your guy now for post LeBron was way bigger than trying to just keep this Anthony Davis LeBron thing going. Absolutely. But I do agree that on paper, if healthy, the Mavericks, man, I know it's crazy to trade a Luka Doncic, but to have Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, who ain't Clay, but on any given night will be Clay.
Yep.
Then you got Gafford.
Yep.
Which Anthony Davis it got so bad. Anthony Davis did a sit down. I forget with who, and told I wanted the Lakers to get a big before he got traded. I don't know if you remember. He wanted to play with another big. Play the four. And they have that. Lively is going to be out.
Yes.
But when he is healthy, they'll have 3 bigs. Got PJ Washington. So I like some of the things with their team as well. I felt like if they were fully healthy, they would definitely right now this year be looking like a much better team for a playoff run.
Right, and then Kyrie can still be who he's supposed to be.
Kyrie Irving,
with the ball in his hand. Playing with Luka, obviously, he was on the, they shared the ball handle.
And Max Christie.
Yes.
Max Christie looked real good with Dallas.
Yeah, wow, yeah. But I like the Mavericks because, like I said, Kyrie can do what Kyrie does, right? I think he's a better point guard than Luka. As far as us getting the team set up and all that. I don't think he's a better offensive player. I take that back. Yeah, man.
I flip. I'm the opposite of you. I think Luka is a better point guard, and I think Kyrie is a better offensive player.
So, okay. I mean, I'm going to play host right now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you, why would you think that?
Because Luka gets his shit. But I feel like what Luka does, it's predictable. So when you have a good team like the Boston Celtics, who know and have the surrounding pieces to stop it, it's like, and they troubled Kyrie too. They bothered Kyrie in a series as well. But I just feel like Kyrie is a little different to game plan because what he does, Kyrie plays how you taught us. You take what they give.
Yes.
Luka, who is a magnificent basketball player, we got to say this for the people at home. It's not to diminish Luka at all.
Right.
But, Luka kind of has the Harden type thing.
Yes.
Where Luka wants the basketball. Luka's at the top of the key. I feel like Kyrie Irving can play next to a Luka.
Yes.
He can play next to a LeBron. He can play by himself. He can catch and shoot. He can get in the mid-range. He can finish. I've seen him post up guards. He can shoot threes. So that's why I say that. But Luka is surgical. He plays at that slow pace.
Absolutely.
He lulls people to sleep. He's bigger. So when you put him on a block and it's a Derek White, you have to then send Jaylen Brown and then boom, 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 boom. So that's why I say he's a better point guard. But when I feel like when you let Kyrie go,
yes,
it ain't too many in the league that I'm taking over Kyrie in that sense.
That's why I asked to get a different.
Now, from a statistical standpoint, it's not too many people that's going to be able to compete with Luka, but I'm looking past statistical outputs.
We use our eye test.
Right.
Our eye test. Yeah, absolutely.
You played for a lot of different coaches. All of us have played basketball and had different coaches. EJ has had a bunch of coaches. What makes a player coach? What's a player coach to you? When you hear somebody say, oh, man, I don't know. Trying to think of somebody who got that label. Kenny Atkinson is a player's coach. What that mean to you?
Well, I'll go back when I played because we use that term as well.
Yeah.
Right? A coach that'll allow you to be who you're trying to become and don't stop you from being that. Coaches nowadays they think that they're superior over everything, right? So when they say something, they mean it. Like, you got to do it. Players coach, like a Steve Kerr.
Yes,
He's more of a Steve.
Yeah.
He goes to Steph and asks him what he think and allow him to be Steph. Like, Kerr allows Steph to shoot the ball a step across half court.
Yeah.
Other coaches probably wouldn't, right? So that would strip who Steph Curry was trying to become and who he is today.
Yeah.
Not so much, right? Because Steph's still going to be Steph.
Absolutely.
But when you say players coach, that means to me a coach that allow you to play. And can I use EJ for an example?
Absolutely.
And you was there throughout the 4 years, right? When EJ first got there at St. Pat's, they told him he was going to play sophomore basketball, fourth quarter rule. But each day when we got it there early in practice, before school start, our workouts, we had EJ shoot all type of threes from the volleyball line, all in, out. So as Coach Bailey comes and watch, or the coaching staff came and watch, each day they got the first day they peaked, second day they peaked, and now they start to watch. So now when he got to play, when the season started, they allow him to shoot that.
Yeah, because
right?
they see work on it.
So now other players before and after, they can't take those shots. So because Coach Bailey at some point, a little bit, right, allow EJ to be who he is today. So Coach Bailey, to me, is a player coach. I know that sounds kind of funny because you and I talk about. He's a player coach to EJ.
Right.
Right. Now, if you was there and you took those shots, you're coming out.
Absolutely.
So he'll allow EJ. So when you say players coach, that allow, not saying that he's not mad at it, like,
but
EJ, but
that come with him.
It come with him. So yeah.
Yeah, I think Steve Kerr is a great example too, because a lot of us, we be watching at home like, man, y'all let Draymond do everything, but he knows as a player coach, I gotta let Dre be Dre. Yeah. We'll we'll try to bring it back as much as we can, but at the same time, that's Dre. I gotta let him be him. One of the things I've heard, because we're gonna get into basketball now. I got our NBA topics out the way.
Let's get it.
A term that you've used, because me and you have, what they don't know is me and you have our own podcast on the phone every day. So this ain't really nothing.
Right.
But a term that has come up in a lot of our conversations over the past, man, I'll say 5 years, and maybe even more, you've used watered down. Basketball is watered down in today's game. Mm-hmm. And I say basketball, I'm not saying NBA, I'm saying basketball, because me and you, we talk basketball.
Yes.
It's a big difference. Some people only watch and support and know NBA. Basketball is all of it. Right now in the background, we got NCAA women's basketball.
Right.
What do you mean when you say basketball is watered down? And on top of that, how do you think the game became watered down?
Okay, that's a great question, and I'm glad to be able to answer. Now, basketball is more talent than it was before, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as it should be. Right. And then in 15 years, my kids should be. Yeah,
it evolves. When I say the game is watered down in the terms of today's game, I don't think players play with the passion that I can say that I played with, right? Mm-hmm. And guys who I played with. It's two reasons why we played the way I played. When I played, we played to get out of the situation that we was in. First, for love, right? Because it's a child's game.
Yes.
We play now. Adults getting paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game, right?
Yeah.
So when we first started playing, we played out of love. Then the more you became better at the sport and people telling you that you're pretty good, then for me, I played pretty much to want to get out the situation that I was in, right? And that was, like I told you all the time, my dream was never to play in the NBA. My dream was to play college basketball because, like I said, DePaul was on TV more than the Bulls was. So I knew for me to go play at college basketball, my mom would have to pay for it because I knew what scholarship was.
Yeah.
And I knew it would take me from where I lived to a better situation. I don't have to make sugar sandwiches. I have cereal, right? The real cereal, real milk. So I look at today's game. It starts from the ground roots, like the younger age. If you look at back in the day in the NBA, when they got drafted, they all cried and said, "Man, thank God first." Mm-hmm. Then they thanked the opportunity to get their parent out of the situation they was in. You look at today's game, you got overseas guys who come. A lot of them come from poverty, like Giannis
Antetokounmpo.
Yes. Yep. But a lot of them came from better situations than I did. Right?
Yeah.
And then
especially if they played pro over there,
yes.
they would make them.
And then you see guys like Gilbert Arenas and Isaiah Thomas and all the ex-NBA players.
Their sons
are playing.
Trevor Ariza.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those guys don't have the same hunger that we played to get out. Because Gilbert Arenas' son got a truck already outside that he can't even drive because he's not old enough to he's not old enough to drive. So with that, you don't play with enough. That's why you see a lot of load management. They don't appreciate the game the way we played, like the way Jordan played. Jordan played 82 games.
Yeah.
Right? Now we get to I don't feel like playing because they really don't have the love and the passion of getting out of something. I've always said you got to go through to get to, right? If you're blessed to have a NBA player, ex-NBA player as a dad, then great. But they don't have the same hunger as if a Will Bynum.
All right, shout out to Thrill.
You know what I'm saying? So I think because of that, it waters the game down.
Do you think it's impossible to, let's just say hypothetically speaking, it's all hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say EJ goes to the NBA. 20 years from now, he has a son. His son, just by DNA, is probably going to want to play basketball.
Yeah.
Do you think it's impossible to develop, I don't want to say develop hunger, but to develop your kid as an ex-player to have a certain dog or fight in him, knowing that, hey, man, everybody know I played in the NBA. They're going to call you soft. They're going to say everything was given to you. Do you think that can be developed? Not, of course, it ain't going to be the same as somebody in the hood struggling who ain't have. But do you think somebody can have that in their son who played in the NBA?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about making you uncomfortable, right? To make you embrace being uncomfortable. And you have to create situations for that.
Kobe had Gigi that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's definitely, but now it's more money in the game. We got guys that's taking stuff out of the game because of analytics. The mid-range is not a good shot now. Then it, I don't believe in none of that. So once basketball get to how it starts at the lower level.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta stop telling kids they're the best third grader in the world, right?
Right.
Like, because now the kid, when he gets to 5th grade, he thinks the game owe him something.
Yeah.
He's already made it, right? Instead of going out. So once they get, and we always talked about, I never believed in the rankings and all of that stuff. So once we get that out of the way and just keep the fun, don't take the fun out of the game and put pressure in. Because once you're labeled as the best 5th grader, you got to live on that, right? So each game you go out, it's like, oh my God, I'm scared to make a mistake. And the game is made of mistakes. Every possession is a mistake. If I'm guarding you and you score, that's my mistake.
Yep.
Right? So it's not just a turnover, kick the ball out of bounds and all that. Every possession is a mistake.
Do you believe that's why we've seen somebody like Javon Corneli, a.k.a. JQ Jelly, have an Instagram post calling himself a failure or for not being in the NBA?
Yep, I agree. That's Adrian Griffin's son.
Yes, AJ Griffin,
we can go on and on. There's a couple. But, yeah, I think the pressure that was pushed on them at a very young age, letting them know it's NBA or bust, they like, you know what, I'm done. Because they can't live on that handshake. See, the thing is about that, the politics is good until it turns against you.
Absolutely.
So now it's like, hey, when I was JellyFam, I was doing all that. Now I'm not JellyFam no more because I didn't work on the things that I know I needed to work on to make me a better basketball player, right? Because I was JellyFam and I get all the YouTube and everybody asking for my autograph, I didn't go in the gym. I know I'm saying it's not true because I don't know him like that. But obviously he didn't go work on his game enough because he'd been told he was already good. It stopped him from going to take that hunger away. You know what I mean? So do I think the game can go back? Yeah.
If you are, well, you just was, it's crazy, EJ a senior, but if we talking about developing and bringing up a kid in today's world, where's the foundation that you start for a basketball player upbringing? Because there's so much going on. You just mentioned the pressure. They actually have to be able to hoop. You got to have a knowledge of the game. Me and you talk about it. Kids don't watch basketball nowhere near as much as they should today. You got all of the distractions. It's more distractions than ever.
Yes.
It's more distractions than ever. I feel like even when I was growing up, which ain't that long ago, I'm not that much older than EJ, it wasn't as many distractions. So I feel like in the next 5 years or every year, it's just going to be another added distraction. How would you bring up or develop a youth who wanted to play basketball today? If a young man walked in here with a son and his son was 8 and he said, man, I seen what you're doing with EJ and we love your story and everything that y'all have done. Help. I'm looking at you for help. How would you start that?
Well, first of all, I'm going to let people know that, you was a hell of a basketball player as well, right?
I appreciate that. They don't know.
Nah. And I think the turning point was, right, like, obviously Pierre didn't live with me, right? But he would come every weekend. So this particular summer, I asked him to come because I saw the potential that he had, and I wanted to strip him down to build him to be the player that he wanted to become. And there's a lot of discipline in that, right? So he agreed with it at the beginning, and then the closer it got to that summer, like, nah, Dad, I think I'm going to stay home, right? Because the coaches want me to work on their stuff. And I was like, hell no, man. I want you to work on the stuff that I know you need so you can make not just you better, but you can help the team better.
Yes.
And from that, then your injury happened.
Yep.
And then, it's what it's. But
then Bub came, and then you made Bub do this, and he was like, I'm gone.
I'm gone. So the thing is, what I would do, like I did with him, I would see if I asked him, do you love basketball? He said yes. I said, how bad do you want to play? So I really want to be great.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that conversation I had, I told him at a very young age that a lot of things you're not going to be able to do that normal kids could do because you said you want to be the best you can be.
Absolutely.
Best you can be, not what the world, the best you can be. So that means we can't go out a lot. We're going to go to the gym, this and that. I said, are you willing to do that? He said, yes. So what I did, I pulled out.
Let's stay right there.
Okay.
How hard is it in today's climate to instill sacrifice into a kid like an EJ? Because EJ is a cool kid, get popular, know a lot of people. How hard is it? How much of that is a battle? Because I don't think that kids understand how much sacrifice has to go into anything. We ain't got to talk about basketball or NBA or Division I, but anything podcasting.
Yes.
Because we meet a lot of kids that want to do this and want to be in the media and everything, and it's like you can do anything you put your mind to, but you are going to miss out
a lot.
Is that a battle that you see with a lot of kids, and not even just EJ, but maybe teammates, past teammates, peers that he has?
Well, for me, I would say it's not hard, right? Because I did it, I lived it, right? And I don't know what they're doing in their household, but it's just not with basketball in my household.
Yeah,
you've heard me on the phone a couple times. Saying, EJ, take this garbage out, and man, get these dishes. So everything he did is based on being the best person you can be. So for him, once I had him sign the contract, like I put out a little piece of paper and said, hey, it's the contract. You're agreeing that we're going to not do the things that other kids are going to be able to do. Signed it, and every day, even to this day, he gets upset. I'll ask him, hey, man, you still want to play basketball? He's like, Dad, quit asking me. Because I want to let him know that you don't have to do this. Playing basketball does not define who you are. It's just something that you do.
Yeah.
But because you want to be the best that you want to become, it's a lot of things that we're going to have to do. And for him, it was not hard at all because we walked that walk all the way through. And again, he's not an ESPN top 100.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we didn't, and I don't know if we would have put him in those type of situations. But I just wanted him to continue to love the game, play with so much passion, and understand what the game can bring to you outside of basketball, but not just dribbling it.
So we do the contract, we got sacrifice. What comes after that?
It's then now the work. So now you roll out the blueprint. And obviously you got to keep reeling them in. And the older they get, now it's no longer, I got to get you up. You're going to get me up and say, Dad, shouldn't we be out here at 6 o'clock? So it starts there, and then it goes on to there. And then you're gonna hit some bumpy roads because when he's younger, I tell this all the time, the kid idolized you. I was his favorite player.
Yeah.
Right? In a certain age.
These my LeBrons with the grip.
Yeah.
We gotta find that video. I want to put that video in here.
And then at some point, I think it's around 14, then he demonized me. Like everything I said now is, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about, right? Until he does something wrong and then he need my advice again, right?
Right.
And then I know at some point he's going to come full circle and he's going to be like, man, Dad, everything you taught me or told me was right on. So it's some bumps and bruising and all that, man, because that's what life is, right? It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And the ones who sustain whatever you're trying to become is not how many times you fall down, because you're definitely going to fall.
Yeah.
It's how you get up and get back on. And I was always there to let him know until he got old enough. It's like, this comes with it.
what was the hardest challenge for you, being a basketball dad, where you want to cheer because it's your kids, but then you also gotta, because basketball is such a humbling game, so you also want to prepare for the fall. You also don't want nobody to get too big-headed because then that's when the fall hit even harder.
Yep.
So how do you balance all that as a basketball dad without losing sight of being a dad? Because I don't think people realize the struggle with it.
Right, it is, and the thing that helped me was his mom. Right, she was there to let me know, all right, that's enough. Right, and it wasn't just with basketball; it was with everything. And then whatever I said, she was right behind me about, the things that he needed to do. So for me, it wasn't as hard because, like I said, basketball wasn't nothing that I wanted it to define him, right? The hardest thing was for me was, and she helped me with this as well, that I was trying to make EJ a player like I was.
Right? Yeah.
And I wasn't allowing him to create his own identity. So when the things that he did that I didn't do, or the things that I did that he didn't do, we were kind of clash, like, no, man, that ain't the way it's supposed to be. But once I learned that, you know what, let me step over and let him create his own identity, we didn't clash as much with the game. We didn't clash a lot, but I would get like, come on, man, no. And then once I learned, you know what, that wasn't bad after all. Because what I've learned that he couldn't be me. It's gonna be, the game changed. His environment is different
Way
than mine.
different, yeah.
He has a big brother like you and LaShawn that been through those stuff. My big brother didn't play the game the way we played.
Why do you think fathers like yourself and LeVar Ball get a bad rap?
Because we're involved. We don't go with what the masses say you're supposed to do. Like the game prey on, and no disrespect to single moms, but
absolutely.
they prey on single moms who don't know the game as much. They try to do what they do with them and tell them all type of stuff that is not true.
Yeah.
No one can predict. That's why potential is a word that people be like, ugh. But
Yeah.
all that is untapped stuff that, like you're trying to get to. So, damn, what was the question, man?
Why fathers like you and LeVar?
Okay, right, thank you.
And when I mean fathers like you and LeVar, it's just that, number one, you instill confidence. Because for whatever reason, the world don't like confidence. That's why they created the word cocky.
Yes.
Because when people who aren't confident, they feel away from your confidence, so they find a way to make it negative.
Absolutely.
But y'all confident, put the work in, and then when you put the work in, you become super confident. Now I'm not only confident, I'm confident enough to tell you about how confident I am because I trust my work. But in today's world, for whatever reason, you cannot be that way.
And that's
and they root so against you.
Yeah. But I always taught him, and still to this day, it's a fine line that you walk on. And that's that confident and cocky. People that know you know that's confident.
Yeah.
People that don't know you, they can look at it as cocky. But that's the line we're walking on. Let them figure out which side they want to be on. That's cool. Because you have to be that way. You know what I mean? You have to walk that line to be successful in anything. And I'm just using basketball for an example. Because they build you up to tear you down.
Every time. We see it over and over. Every sport, every man, I remember when LeBron was the guy.
Yes.
I remember when Kobe was the guy. I remember when just 2 years ago, it felt like Anthony Edwards was the guy. Then they started saying he shoot too many jumpers. Shea is the darling right now. Let Shea not win in the next 2 years, they'll be ripping him down as well. Yep.
So, but no, it wasn't hard, man. Like, and again, EJ hasn't accomplished anything yet, as far as what he's trying to do. And I tell him all the time, even when you was young, you don't have to play this game.
Yeah.
You're gonna be my son regardless. But if you're gonna play it, let's be the best we can be in it. Wherever that takes us, that's great.
No, yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I remember we had a conversation. This is a long time ago, and because it get tough, which is what another thing. A lot of kids and young people and young adults don't understand that nothing, everything worth having won't come easy. But when it's tough, sometimes as a kid, you wanted to just shut it off. You want to just be able to snap and just be like, it's done. But that ain't always a luxury. So I remember one time we was talking about something, and this is the time where I would go over your house or something, and we was playing, and maybe I ain't play like I should have, and you constantly on me, whatever. And you like, man, listen, you don't have to play, but I'm going to let you know, the intensity ain't going nowhere. If you're going to be a limousine driver, damn it, you're going to be driving LeBron James.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
I'm about to be 30 next week. That's going to be forever ingrained in my brain. Like, man, if you are a limo driver, you are going to be picking up the face of the NBA when you're doing it, damn it. And that's the side that I don't think a lot of people know because they think it's just basketball, because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
But the intensity got to be there regardless. Where that come from for you? Where it's like...
My environment, the way I was raised in the.
What's your environment? Because I know, but they don't know.
Well, I come from the inner city of Chicago, right, and that's drug infested, gang infested. Just every step I took, I saw that in my childhood. So knowing that and being from a household that my mom, shout out mom, and my grandmother, rest in peace. And all the others that played the factor, but those two was the major piece in my life. They shield us from that. They taught us at an early age, no, we live here, but we don't have to be a part of that. So I had curfew, right? And I had to do things the right way. So doing that as I was a youth, it instilled who I became as a man. So I try to preach that in today's world to, with my youngest. And sometimes that's like a clash because the world tell you one thing, but I know what's real, what's really about. So it wasn't as when I say my environment, it was a little bit rougher than what your upbringing was and when EJ upbringing is. So
what was your basketball experience like coming up? Because what year did you graduate high school?
88.
So right, so we a long way from 88.
Yeah.
We got NIL now. You can get paid to hoop.
Oh man. And I'm glad that I wasn't playing in that era because it would have took some out of me, man.
Right.
But my basketball experience was great. Like people don't know, baseball was my number one sport.
We were just talking about baseball, yeah.
And basketball, we still played that. Where I grew up in the era that I played, we played all sports every day. We'll play baseball, basketball, and football. Johnny come across. Catch the girl, kiss the girl. We did all of that in one day, right? Jump rope, did cheers. So I was working on all type of different movements by doing everything. And it kept your mind free. Like we didn't specialize in no particular sport. So once I realized that I was pretty good, I would always be told that I was too short. So that was my driving point, right? So when I was in middle school, starting guard, made it all the way to the finals. Shout out to Medill Elementary. I remember graduating. The gym teacher told me that I would probably go back and play baseball because I was too short to play basketball. So now, if you tell that to a kid, they go home and cry, and then I just use that as motivation, right? So I would go outside and dribble the basketball. Mom asked me to go to the store and get a gallon of milk. I'll go dribble back with the left hand with the milk in my right hand. And a lot of things that kids don't do like I did or what we did yesteryear, use our imagination. I played for Chicago Bulls when I was 10 years old.
You taught me the hanger with the sock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would play by myself. There was 10 guys on the floor, but it was just only me, right? So I would use that. And basketball saved my life. It took me from where I was at to, I ain't gonna say better, but other situations. Relationships that I have now, I wouldn't have had with basketball. The things that I've learned from basketball, commitment, dedication, be able to take correct criticism, knowing no matter what, if you that guy, which I was fortunate enough to be a lot of times in my playing days, you can't decide when to wear the crown or not. You have to wear it when you score 40. You have to wear it when you score 4, right? The only thing that I've always wanted to do is give it all that I had and my passion took over. So a lot of my teammates at the time, they was cursed out a lot. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I appreciate it now because when they see me now, they would always say, man, you're the best guy I ever played with, man. Thank you, that type of stuff. But, hey, man, to be a leader is going to be tough. And I used to get on their ass.
Oh yeah, me and Lashad and Bub. I don't think EJ never got to see that, right? When you was go to those men's tournaments, he was too young.
Yeah, but he did. He saw the
Right, the 45.
Yeah. And I remember him asking me, Dad, why you be cursing him out all the time? I was like, man. But yeah, it was so basketball has made me the man that I am today. And like I said, without that, I wouldn't be able to travel the places that I was able to travel, meet guys that I've met, and become the man I am today, right? So when I say I owe and to this day, I'm 54 years old. Every day I go to work, I take a book bag. And the book bag is when I go on break, on my lunch break, I pull it out and I write down certain things that I've learned, or I want to talk it over with EJ and talk with you when I call you during my lunch sometimes.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's what the game done for me, man.
What's a why, and why is it important for young hoopers to have it? Because a lot of my viewers on here, they are young aspiring hoopers, and I also have guys who coach.
Wow. See, this stuff what we talk about, I didn't think my son listens, so he does listen. I mean, I would think when you got kids, you think when you talk to them, sometimes it sounds like wah, 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 wah. But yeah, a why to me is very important. The why means why you do what you do. And once you find out your why, it'll be so hard for you to stop doing what you wanted to do because your why kicks in, right? So for me, like I said before, my why was to make my mom proud. I wanted to be the first child of hers to go to college, and that was my why. Every time that I thought that I wanted to give up, when it got kind of tough, I just looked back, closed my eyes, and my why would kick in, and it just pushed me. So when you guys was coming up, I always ask, and now EJ, the youngest, I always tell him, what is your why? What that mean, Dad? What is your why? Your why will make you go through some things so you won't quit. And I told him, like, it don't have to be me.
Yeah.
Right? Matter of fact, let it be your mom, because you don't want to upset your mom.
For sure.
Right? So that's his why. He said, I want to make him up. I think because I kind of made him, kind of rubbed him. But yeah, the why is very important because it will make you continue to do what you do when stuff started to get tough. Because it's going to get tough.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
going to get tough. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
I'll be in a cover of 2K right now if it was easy.
So yeah, you got to find your why, and I'm very big on that.
How hard is it to become a good basketball player, or above good? I don't want to say great because great is subjective, I guess, to what everybody think it is.
Well, what is good, right? Like that's a question that you have to answer for yourself, right? Again, everybody, I didn't play for people to say that I'm good. If I knew I went out there and gave it all I got, no matter what the numbers was, I gave everything that I got. And I go look in the mirror and say, did you play your hardest? Yes, I did. I was cool with that, right? Yeah, obviously I wanted to score 30.
For sure.
Keep my average, right? But some days it's not going to go like that, right? So I never, I don't teach, like I said, what is good, right? Like, and a lot of stuff come with it. You have to have you have to be born with some type of ability, right?
Yep.
I think we all have a talent that God blessed us with, right? So I rather chase your blessing from God than your passion.
Right.
Because if you do what God gave you to do, it will never be work.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't figure that out until they get older. But you have something that God gave you, and whatever He gives you, and it comes easy, right? Whatever comes easy to you that is harder for others, that's what God has for you. So basketball, man, to be good, like LeBron James, he was already 6'8", 260. So you have to be blessed with some ability, right? Like I tell this to a lot of people when I'm talking. Javon Carter's a cousin of ours, plays for Chicago Bulls. He made it to this show.
Yep.
He practiced just as hard or even more than LeBron James. No matter how much he practiced, he would never be LeBron.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because it's not just hard work, right? It's other stuff that comes with it. Like he was blessed with those type of attributes that you need. But if you're just a kid, I will always tell him, man, just keep the main thing the main thing. Keep it fun. Don't substitute fun for pressure, like all the other stuff that people put in you. Because, man, how many jobs in the NBA is 400 that actually plays, right? Now we're in today's game, but we have this, everything is getting older except the NBA. College coaches want older players. They go into Porter and get Auburn University men's basketball, average age is 24 years old. So all the college coaches are trying to get older, but the NBA still going. You won't see Adam Silver gets up there at 27 years old, the third pick from the Georgia University,
right?
Such and such. So, yeah, man, it's just good as how you define what it is, right? And to be able to be what you trying to become, one of those guys who wear one of those Jerry West labels. It's a lot of commitment, a lot of luck, a lot of sacrifice, and you still not make it.
What's the most important part of development? Because we've had off the record conversations where we've seen talented people with opportunities go for a name versus opportunity. You'll see somebody go to Duke when they would have been able to get their shit off properly at NC State.
Yep.
What's your thought process on that? Because the reason I asked, because we just had before you, the previous guest was Jalen Wells, and he was big on that, where he had opportunities to walk on at bigger Division I schools, but the opportunity to get better and to play was at the Division II route. Absolutely. And that ultimately catapulted him to be able to be an NBA player now.
Well, my thing was, it not just with you guys, with everybody, right? There's no such thing as Division I or bust, right? So I always instill that, even when the world tells you it's either Division I or bust. So I never said that. An opportunity to play college basketball is always a great opportunity. Now, to play for free or for less money as possible and then free, that's totally different. Right?
Yeah.
So, just like your younger EJ had opportunities to play at the Division I level.
Absolutely.
So his main thing was to play on that Division I level, right? So not trying to talk him out of it, because he always heard me say it's no Division I or bust, right? But he always wanted to play at that level and still do it. Still may have a chance, but we chose another route because, shout out Jeff Boschee, head coach Jeff Boschee, I'm sorry, at Pitt State University, Pittsburgh State, which is Division II. He's able to come in and play right away.
Yep.
Right? And that was one of the reasons why we wanted to get basketball, right? To get on the floor. We worked too hard to be sitting if we had an opportunity to play right away. So all the other schools before we visit Pitt State, they never told him that he wasn't going to play, but they never told him he was going to play, right?
Yeah.
So we look at all the dynamics, man, is that the fit and the opportunity to play and the style of play benefit him at Pitt State than to go somewhere else. And again, like, coaches now have a 3-year window. If they don't win, they'll get fired.
Somebody else is up,
right?
Yep.
So now another coach come in. Now this coach bring in another group of young men, and now you put yourself in the transfer portal, and now you got to find some. So yeah, like I said, I never believed in the Division I or bust. You go somewhere that they want you to become the best student athlete you can become.
My producer Christian over there, when he first was coming to the senior night, he kept asking, and we only doing this for fun, who would you compare EJ to? He kept asking me that, and I was like, man, that's a good question. I gave him some answers. I forget what I said. What would be your answer to that? And we just having fun.
Right.
And also, while you thinking. I've been having a conversation with Christian about comparisons and what they mean, and I think we had some good conversations about them because Christian is like us. He really watched college basketball.
Okay.
So he gets it, but a lot of people, when they hear comparisons, they think that that's who the person is going to be.
Right.
And I was telling Christian, like, yeah, I don't know why people do that, because I remember when Oladipo came out, they compared him to Mike. Obviously, the guys comparing him didn't think he was going to be Michael Jordan, but in a 6'5", 6'6" body, get in the stand, slide his feet, defend well, athletic enough to get to the basket, mid-range game. They're like, oh, he's like a little Michael Jordan. But that's not them saying he's going to be Mike.
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to put that out there for my viewers. But who are some of the names that you have for EJ? And then also yourself, because our viewers know that you played.
Right.
And even Christian back there just shook his head, yeah. They be wanting to know.
Well.
And I'm going to throw another one out there.
My man.
KB.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Throw a comparison out there for KB, too.
All right. Kentrell, nephew, I love you. Kentrell comparison would be Torrey Craig.
Torrey Craig. Okay. Shout out to Torrey Craig, man.
Shout out to Torrey Craig, man.
Can you do the rest of the numbers on the board podcast panel? So Mike, Derrick, and then myself. And with me. Because I know they dying to hear that. And I know you're going to have. He used to like Ron Mercer.
Oh, man. I would get on. All right. Well, Mike, the little that I've seen and watch him move on the court, do the little numbers on the board.
We need some more hoop videos too, y'all. We gonna get y'all.
I'll give him the Aldi's version of Javon Carter.
Aldi's version
of Javon Carter. Yes. D Mills. I'm gonna give you somebody that some fans probably wouldn't know who it is, but Oliver Miller. He played for the Phoenix Suns.
Oliver Miller. I don't know who Oliver Miller is.
6'8", 320. But nah, Derrick Mills got some game, man. I would compare him to, I would say a shorter Boogie Cousins.
Oh shit! Okay, I like that.
Yeah. I like his footwork. He understands the game more than I would thought he would have.
Yep. He gonna like. Hey, no, you got to give Mike a different one. You can't go Boogie and then he Javon, and Mike don't even guard. Man. And you know we love Javon's family.
Well,
but
I didn't even compare him to the defensive end. I was talking about the offensive side. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Javon Carter comparison.
D Mills is gonna love that.
Yes, because he got good footwork.
He gonna love that.
I watch when he catches in the post. He look both sides before he make his move. He can shoot it from the perimeter, and he get tired after 2 possessions up and down. So yeah, that's Boogie. And then for Pierre, it's a lot of similarities in this in this comparison. When I see UP, the guy that understands the game, play multiple positions, put the team before yourself. Ben Simmons. I think you could, when you was playing, and still to this day, if y'all played any other podcast, you can guard 1 through 5. You love to pass. Sometimes I wonder, damn, is that my son?
Right.
Because I always like to shoot, but then obviously the similar body style. Yeah, I'll give you Ben Simmons.
I got a jump shot though, y'all.
Yeah, the LSU version.
Okay.
Ben Simmons. Not the ones who scared to take the shot.
Shout out Ben, though.
Shout out Ben. For me, back then, man, I was a guy that liked to score. So when you think of a scoring short guard with a lot of swag, wasn't fearful of nothing.
Yeah.
That guy in Philadelphia, number 3.
Okay.
Allen Iverson. Man.
Okay.
I played with that much type of swag.
Yeah.
Except
not as many tattoos.
No,
never had braids.
But I shot the perimeter shot more than he did. Once I learned that going to that basket and get your nose broken, I can do that. So knowing the way the game, like I said, studying the game ever since I was, that I can remember. I think for you to be in your seat today, I know I was a big factor by coming in to the crib when you was younger, and all we did was talk about not just basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about baseball.
Yep.
We played video games and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So knowing that I was a guy that loved to shoot the three, that's the first thing I brought to EJ.
Mm-hmm.
We shot the ball first.
Yep.
You know,
Because
so-
what's the three things that which somebody said, a scout said, you got to have a 40-inch vertical,
Yes.
shoot the three, or be what,
6'5" or above.
Okay.
Right. So if he was anything 6'6" and above, then I gotta take a DNA test, man. but nah, just tripping. But yeah, I love to shoot, so that's the first thing that we brought out was shooting the basketball. And so happened this when I talk about a gift from God, and not just I didn't have to teach him how to dribble. Like if you watch kids today, they slapping the basketball.
Yeah.
He knew how to make ball placement and know how to dribble. So that was even greater. So we shot the ball first. So knowing that and watch how the game evolved, I started watching people who made it. See, I've always used the yesteryear to get better.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's
what
why you
do.
said Kobe is the smartest.
Yes.
Why not copy the greatest
Why
player
not
of all
copy
time?
the greatest of all time, man? So the first person that I really got to see that was similar to EJ's skill set at the time, and we kept building on that, was a guy like Steph Curry, right? Then as he got older, other names starting to come. Like some of my friends, hey, Ty, that's Baby Dame. Like, oh, wow. So I can see the celebrity. Then they got, damn, that's Trae Young. So all those guys has one thing in common.
They shoot the basketball.
They shoot the basketball. So, yeah, that's KB comparison. And I really don't like the comparison because that takes the joy out of the game.
You
right?
think so?
Yeah, well, not that type of comparison, right? When
I
you-
hate the all-time great comparisons. Those ones I don't like. But I enjoy if Cooper Flagg's in this draft giving the people who he
Yes,
reminds me of.
yes.
That's the fun comparison.
Right,
Yeah.
right. When I'm talking about, the comparison I'm talking about, and when you compare two kids.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what I don't like. But yeah, to compare a guy that's trying to become to a person that's already there, I think that's great because now that has like a blueprint
Yes.
that a kid can continue to strive for. So, but yeah, once I got EJ to not buy into, but try to let him know that's the type of player. So most of our workouts will be 50% of it shooting, right? And then I'll take 30%, which will be 80. We work on off the dribble stuff.
Yep.
Going to the basket, right? And then 10% of that, we'll put it all together. And then that, which is 90. Then the other 10%, we'll put conditioning with it. So 50% of his workouts will be shooting the basketball, which means a lot. Off the catch, off the dribble, coming off down screens, Iverson cuts, all that. And then from there, we worked on ball handling skills. 3 dribbles or less.
Got to have 3 dribbles
Right,
or
never
less.
was teaching them all that old, your bag.
Yeah.
And I think the best bag is when you take stuff out of your bag that you won't use. That's the best bag. So.
Sound like Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas said he used to just work on shit just to have it there.
Okay,
Didn't
I was
even
about
need
to
to use
say,
it.
man, I know Gilbert ain't stealing my shit, but yeah, there's no sense to work with him with the 5 dribble combos like I did. I had to learn the hard way when I got to school. Like, we can't do that.
What you look at when you evaluating talent? Like, not that it's your job, but
Yeah.
if you're just looking at the 2028 NBA draft when it comes, what are some of the things that would make you say, man, I like this guy more than I like that guy. He's missing this.
Well, the first thing I look at is the mindset. Right? I know you can't. And is how he moves throughout the game when he made 3 or he missed 3. Right? I watch that first. Right? Then I look for the skill set. What do you do well that will translate from middle school, if your next step is to high school, from high school for 4 years to college? Those are the things I look for. I don't look for height, weight, because a lot of kids can't control that, right?
Yeah.
If I could change it, I probably want to become 6'5", right?
Yeah.
But obviously I'm
Yeah.
6'2".
For sure.
So you take all the physical attributes out of it. You know what I'm saying? Things that you don't have no control.
You probably look 6'2" on the camera. We both sit down. They probably like, yeah, we probably look the same height.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But yeah, I look at this. What do they do well? And it don't have to be from a offensive point of view all the time. It could be defensively. But because the game is more offensively driven, then you have to be able to show what you can do offensively.
I ain't seen nobody get a max contract because they lock up. Matter of fact, Rudy Gobert did get a max contract.
Okay. Yeah. And a lot of people that's getting a contract might not be max, but there's a lot of people got a contract because they lock up.
Oh, for sure.
Right. So, but yeah, that's how I evaluate talent, man. What do you do well, and if it translates? Like, I love to score. I love shooting. So that's my number one thing. If you can't shoot, to me, you won't last in the game the way it's going now. This is a shooting game.
It really is.
So,
is there anything positive, just from your personal standpoint, forget what the rest of us or the rest of the basketball world, that you find from analytics?
Nothing. I'll say not now, right? Because eventually I'm gonna have to, I have dialed into it a little bit because that's what the game. You shoot better on the left-hand side, this, that. I don't know how true that is, but a lot of people that does the analytics is usually guys who, most of them, never really played it, right? So they don't have the feel of the game. I remember 3-on-2 fast break, we wanted a dunk or a layup closer to the basket. Now if you watch, they go straight to the corner because the analytics say the best shots are corner threes.
Closest three-point shot.
Closest three-point shot. So I'm taking the high percentage shot all the time.
I think that's where the game is still at. Whoever can get the most easiest bucket ultimately is going to win.
I said it even when they was little.
Yeah.
When EJ and them was little, when y'all was smaller. The teams that makes the most layups usually wins
Probably
the game.
Win.
Yeah. So analytics, I know, is a big part of the game, not just in basketball and baseball, but what made me really know that the game is, our sport is turning to that, it's a baseball show.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie.
Moneyball. Brad Pitt.
Saw it then, like, wow.
Yeah.
This how you picking the team based on analytics, the numbers.
Yeah.
And now I can see that it's going that way. But the game going to always be the game. You take what they give you.
Yes.
You impose your will.
Mm-hmm.
And some of our best scorers still shoot from the.
It's always going to get back to that. Because if I have analytics, guess who else has it? My opponent. So if I shoot good on the left side, especially at the higher levels, they're going to take away the left side. Yes. So then I have to take what they give me, which is the right side. Yes. Yeah. Yep. So that's always been my thing with analytics. I get it. I understand it. But it's an instinctual game.
Yes.
Whenever you go out there, and I'm speaking from experience, whenever you go out there predetermined, you're gonna get caught up.
Absolutely.
Because if you're saying this game I'm only shooting mid ranges, as soon as they take it away, you done.
Well, I could bring, and again, this is not EJ show, right?
Right. Yeah.
But you remember the game that we was at against Nazareth?
I'm gonna get 12 assists.
Right.
Yeah.
And me and you in the stands, right? And I'm watching him turn down shots. And this is when I knew that he started to get older. Right?
Yeah.
And I said, man, I could have stayed home for that. And he said, from the bench, yeah, you could have. And I was like, man, I'm going to get on him now. Pete, when we come out the locker room, man, and we didn't know what his mindset was, right? So when he came out, the first thing he said, Dad, the reason why I take the shots, no, you're going to say, because I was trying to get 10 assists. And it goes back to what you're saying. You can't premeditate this stuff, man. The game has to play that way it plays. Fortunately, they won.
Yes.
And that's the bottom line. We got the W. But
yeah.
we was both confused, like, why he's not taking this shot.
But it's also funny, too, because that just shows how good of a basketball player he is. Only a great basketball player or somebody who perceives themselves to be great can do that, can think that they can go in there and just say, this is what I'm going to do. They used to say Larry Bird used to do shit like that, where he had the game where he only shot with his left hand. And he had like 40. Oh, I'm going to just lay up, do all left-hand layups. Or right. I've seen Jokic. They were saying Jokic a couple years ago, they said he didn't shoot enough. So he came out and he took 2 shots. And he still had like 15 assists or 11 rebounds.
Kobe did it before.
Which game?
I forgot what game, but I remember him saying that Kobe said he shot too much. And he went out and only shot 3 shots that game. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, those are guys who made it to the highest level.
Yeah.
When we talking about a youth kid, man, like, nah, man, play the game, man.
Right.
But like you said, it was cool to have him have that thought process, but man, we play it the way it's supposed to be played.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, I'm gonna do something I do with all my guests. It's a game I end with called 7 Seconds or Less.
Okay.
Because you know I love Mike D'Antoni. I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. You answer them in under 7 seconds. What was your jersey number when you played?
12.
Why?
They didn't have 10
Why'd you like 10?
because of Rod Strickland.
I don't know nothing about Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland and other people. So when
DePaul.
Yes. So when I got to school, a kid already had, or a young man already had 10, and I got 12, and it stuck with me because in high school I wore 10.
Oh, the picture I got at Kelly High School, you was wearing 12.
No.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
The jersey number that they used for you and EJ when they were showing.
Right. That was Olivet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pre-game meal. Then, or if you was playing now, what would it be?
Then it was a Snicker. or any type of pop, right? Now that I've known better and got older, it'd probably be steak. When I got to college, it was more of a steak.
D Mills told us a story about him in game.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the game, you're like, let me get some Gatorade, or you get a water from the water guy.
Yeah.
Derrick said in one of his games he was drinking Sprite.
See, man, that's.
I wish I was making it up, man.
Yeah.
Derrick said he called timeout, he go to the bench, he cracked open a Sprite and was drinking it.
Nah, I was. It was when I got to school in college, they would put honey in water for me, so I would do that. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite Gatorade flavor?
Red. Anything red.
Favorite shoe to hoop in? Favorite all-time shoe to hoop in?
Nike, and then my favorite was the Penny Hardaway.
Okay. Which ones?
Not
Did
the
it have-
foam.
They had a
One-
strap?
No, it had the one on the side of it, the one
Okay.
penny symbol.
Yep.
And then LeBron's, the LeBron 10s. I think those was
Right.
Yeah.
Bub had every color of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Signature move.
Hezo.
Did you see Darius Garland?
I did not.
He did it 2 nights ago and had the dude jumping.
Oh man, you know that.
That's the best when they jump.
Yes, and you know that because when you played against me, when I always play, I
Yep.
hit the Hezo, and the only reason we can use that because if you can shoot,
They gotta respect
they got to
the shot.
respect to it. They got to respect. If you can't shoot, man, you'll be Hezoing all day.
Right, going nowhere.
Nowhere.
and I see it all the time. Favorite player in the 2000s? Oh, that would be Iverson. Favorite players in the 2010s, post Iverson and Kobe now.
Oh, like playing right now, pretty much.
Before right now. So it would be like EJ era, 2010 and past.
Oh, who's playing in the league now?
They probably still could be playing the league now, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like Derrick Rose, MVP.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, obviously Derrick Rose was my favorite at that time. I don't have a favorite team. I never did.
You talk about the Warriors every time we on the phone.
Because they have a player that I like.
Okay.
If Steph Curry leaves the Warriors
You not
and play
rocking
for
with the
Toronto Raptors,
Yeah.
I'm a Toronto Raptors
What if
fan.
the Warriors somehow, don't know how, just hypothetically, they were still able to keep the same style of play without Steph? You would still follow Steph?
I would still follow Steph,
Okay.
just like I did with the Bulls. I was a Reggie Theus fan.
Yep, that's your guy.
That's my guy.
Where's Reggie Theus coaching or was coaching?
Bethune-Cookman.
Yes,
in
okay.
Florida. Then when he left, came Michael Jordan.
Who did Reggie Theus play like? Because me and our viewers, we ain't going to know anything about Reggie Theus as far as how he played. We just only know his stats.
If we look at today's game, Reggie Theus played similar to a Rip Hamilton, but not as much. Middleton.
Chris Middleton.
Chris Middleton.
Wow,
Reggie Theus
okay.
was a bona fide scorer from the mid
So when he played, it wasn't a 3-point line?
It was.
Okay.
I ain't that old. There wasn't a 3-point line in the game, but they wasn't using it as much. Back then, you had to be a specialist.
Yeah.
And that's what they used you for.
I think
Craig Hodges.
The smart people, you got to be a specialist in today's game too.
Yeah, but when I mean specialist, he only got in the game to do that.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, Craig Hodges,
he's
3-point. Yeah.
Trent Tucker, those type of guys.
I don't know Trent Tucker.
Yeah.
He was a Bull?
Yeah, and then he played with the New York Knicks. So those guys got in the game just to shoot those.
Favorite outside of yourself, Chicago, and Derrick Rose.
Okay.
Favorite Chicago-born player, even if they didn't get to the NBA, because we know some hoopers that don't necessarily get to that big stage. Matter of fact, give me your 5. Give me a starting 5, because I'm still in that from out the mud. I seen Tony Allen and Zach Randolph do this for D Rose.
Okay. The first thing I would say that I don't have a favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a guy that grew up in my neighborhood named Joe Doherty played at Crane, Medill Elementary. Played at Crane High School, then he went off to play at DePaul, then he went overseas.
Who did he play with at DePaul?
I don't remember.
This ain't Terry Cummins and them? That's before you.
No, that was Terry Davis.
Okay.
No, so Terry Davis, those type of guys, right? So I don't remember the exact roster, but he was a guy that I looked up to help me continue my little journey.
So he was a guard?
Yes, he was a guard. He's about 6'2". We call him Baby Jordan because he was able to dunk. He was dark like Jordan, wore bald hair like Jordan. He did everything Jordan could do, except he wasn't, obviously wasn't as good. He's not 6'6", but he was so inspiring to me to help me keep going. And this how I knew I could play, right? Quick story before I go. We had open gym in our neighborhood, our elementary school. A guy by the name of Melvin Gunn used to open it up for us, right? And the younger guys played earlier, like from 3 to 5. And then the older guys come in from 5 to 7. So if you're good enough, at some point, Melvin Gunn would tell you you can stay with the bigger guys. I got the nod this particular time.
Okay.
Right? I get to stay. Like, wow. So now we get to go through drills and stuff, right? Now we get to play 5-on-5. I get a steal at half court. I go to the corner for a layup. Joe Doherty coming to block my shot. Mind you, jump, big hands. Had the ball in my right hand. I moved it over, away from him. And as I moved the ball, he smacked me in my face. And that's why I had the knot on my nose to this day. Broke my nose. So when I got up, the first thing I did, most people were like, damn, start crying.
You said, did I make it?
Did I make the basket? Did I make it? Yeah. And he said, you did. And from that point on, he was like, man, you're a little tough motherfucker. And that's what helped me keep going. But my all-time 5 in Chicago, man, is I'm going to leave somebody out. And
it's just what it is. Chicago, we one of those players. We got hoopers. It is what it is.
Man, we're the real Mecca. Back then, I should say.
Yeah, you're right back then, for sure.
So, obviously, the first would be Isaiah Thomas. Right?
Zeke.
Zeke.
Which was the school EJ was originally going to go to.
St. Joe's.
Yeah, St. Joe's.
Derrick Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he's what? Come
he
on.
A cheat code.
Yes, right.
Matter of fact, yeah, don't put
okay.
Derrick Rose in there.
Will Bynum. Antoine Walker.
Uh-oh. He had a lot of buckets.
Yes. Mark Aguirre.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3. I said Isaiah Thomas.
What high school did he go to?
Who, Mark Aguirre? Westinghouse.
Okay.
And then
what college? He went to DePaul?
He went to DePaul.
Okay.
One of the all-time greats. Again, gonna leave somebody out, man, and Quentin Richardson.
Another DePaul.
Yes.
Whitney Young.
Yes, sir. And then
did you like Quentin Richardson in the NBA? When I grew up, I don't remember you.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
And I just know from Chicago, like and Sharon Collins.
Sharon Collins. Yes.
Yeah.
I know LaShawn put me on to Sharon Collins when we was a kid because y'all went to see him play football.
Yep.
I didn't even know he played football. Mm-hmm. Yep. LaShawn would always tell me he could play football too. He was a wide receiver or something. Yep. Yeah, I'll never forget that. And he's also part of the reason I never. People always ask me why I don't like Wisconsin and I don't like Kansas. Sharon Collins was on the Kansas team.
Yep, that beat Memphis.
Derrick Rose.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a nice 5.
Yeah, man.
That's a nice 5. Antoine Walker, your big booty center.
Big
who can
booty.
bring him out and do his okay.
Man, I just like guards. I think big guys is in the way anyway. They just clog up the middle, man. Just let us just 1-4 flat, take turns and just take our man.
No, yeah, I like that. Trying to think of something else that I had. Do you have a favorite college team? Me and you had that conversation before. And it ain't got to be of none recent.
Nah.
Because you know the good teams.
Yeah. You know what, man? It's a little emotional right now, man. I've always told you, bro, I'm one of the toughest crybaby in the world. This opportunity, man, is so surreal. I can't put it in words, man. I got my son talking about basketball. This
is gonna be the best episode too. They gonna love this. They don't know it's happening.
Nah, man.
It's gonna be a surprise.
Like for real, man. This mean a lot to me, man. Me and I did something. I always wanted to be a good dad, right?
Yeah.
And to be on this platform with my son, man, and watch you guys do what y'all do. It's an honor to be here, man. I love you, man. I love what you're doing,
you too,
man.
Pops.
I got my baby over there with me, man. My son, like.
I was gonna wait to the end to give you your flowers, but no, I appreciate you.
Wow,
much
man,
more than you know.
This is so, man. I can't, man. Again, I don't cry much, and I don't care about being on the camera, man, because this is how I really feel. This is probably one of the biggest moments. This is like the draft. It's like the draft to me, man. To watch you as a little bitty boy, have your favorite players is Tracy Murray,
Ron Mercer,
and all the light skinned guys with curly hair, man.
No, I appreciate you, Pops. Man. This is a dream episode for me too.
And it's not staged. I didn't want to do no crime, man.
You one of those. I said the man, the myth, the legend, because you've been a topic since I got into the space. They always used to come on the lives. Then your name was on Through the Wire. KB would bring you up. We would tell the stories. I made sure we had a Slam magazine on the set. I used to tell them about the poster parties. You remember that?
Yes.
When you would rip them up and you would let us. We would play we have a 2K tournament. Whoever won, probably LaShawn. He was 4 years older than all of us. That's how you get the pick, and then we would draft the posters.
And what did LaShawn do a lot? He always got in trouble. He would tear the fucking poster. He couldn't tear it on the line right.
Yep. And it would rip out on the edge. Yep. And I'll never forget, LaShawn was so thirsty. We was doing rounds, so Pops was doing the rounds, and he'd have the best posters and the bottom of the pile for the last round. And I'll never forget this for my entire life. LaShawn was picking and picking and picking. He picked too fast. So what he missed out on was that I ended up getting LeBron James had an iconic high school dunk between the legs that went that was viral before viral. Yeah. Now we have YouTube, social media, and it go viral in seconds. But that was on the news, ESPN, and it was in Slam magazine. A high school kid in the middle of Slam magazine, and I grabbed it after LaShawn didn't, and I'll never forget. He had a stack of posters and said, "I will trade you all of these for that one." And just those type of moments, those memories, that's what I try to tell everybody. That's what got me here today. Those are the memories. Obviously, as a kid, I wanted to go to the NBA. Mm-hmm. I wanted to play for the Knicks. I wanted to go to Arizona, play for Lou Olson.
Yep. Shout out Lou Olson. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. But that's all from you. So I appreciate you, Pops. I don't think we tell you enough how grateful we are to have you. And that's why I'm here today. Basketball is... For as a kid, it used to be a game. I used to be like, damn, why, man, Pop's always on us. So, damn, I thought I had a good game. But it took me to get older to realize why it was. And that's why I brought up the things I brought earlier about how humbling the game is. And as soon as you think you're too good, as soon as you think you know everything, the game will unapologetically put you on your ass, and there will be nobody there to pick you up. Whole time I'm thinking Pop's being unfair. He getting you ready because he already know he been through it. It's going to kick you down, and nobody gonna be there to pick you up. So you got to be prepared for everything, and to see where EJ is at, to see how we able to take the podcast, to even have the conversations me and Bub have, or when I see LaShawn. We always go back to those days, and so we appreciate you, Pops, and I'm glad you was able to be here. We definitely love you, and I really mean it when I say LeVar Ball before LeVar Ball. LeVar he took your blueprint and he remixed it. So they have Tina as their mom. They all have one mom, and they all stayed in the same household. If we all stayed in the same household,
come on, man.
We have DePaul would have had a hell of a circuit. We all have been DePaul players.
Definitely going to DePaul Blue Demons, yes sir.
But yeah, that's a wrap. Tee it up. We got God Killer,
love,
and Pee Wee the Plug. Tee it up. We out, baby. Peace.